Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and you are all very welcome to this presidential investiture. This is the 5th presidential investiture of the Federation of African Engineering Organizations. Indeed, it is a momentous occasion because for the first time, we are going to have a woman chairing the Federation of Engineering Organizations across Africa. You are all very welcome to this session. We have had a very wonderful time over the last few days with the various sessions that have been held, the various symposia that we have held. Everything has gone on excellently. And now we are climaxing with the investiture of the president, the new president, the 5th president, the first lady president of the Federation of Engineering Organizations. I would like to invite the executive director of the Federation of African Engineering Organization, Engineer Ovens Ahiameti, to give us the opening. Engineer Ovens is the executive director of the institution, and he's based in Abuja, of the Federation of Engineering Organization, and he's based in Abuja. He has been leading the processes and working behind the scenes to make this week a success. Engineer Ovens Ahiameti, over to you.
Thank you very much, Engineer Harold. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, our international guests. Good evening, everybody from the diaspora, those who have come here to make this program a success. I'd like to quickly welcome the President of the Federation of African Engineering Organizations here present, Engineer Martins Manoa. Just say hello, sir, where you are. Let them see your face.
Good evening to you all.
You're welcome, sir. Also like to welcome to this great event, the President-elect of FAO, Engineer Mrs. Kalien Bouchedi. Madam.
Engineer Ovens, please go ahead. She's seated over here in the auditorium.
Okay, fine. I just wanted that to recognize the whole surface. Okay, fine. And we also have in our midst this evening,
we're having a little challenge and it should be resolved shortly. He's going. Ladies and gentlemen, we're having a little challenge with our connection, and Engineer Ovens will be joining us shortly. Thank you very much, Engineer Ovens. We'll now like to invite Engineer Leslie Alex Aye, the President of the Ghana Institution of Engineering, to give us the welcome address for this great occasion. Engineer. Okay, so Ovens will continue before
the regional bodies of FAO, the likes of the President of the African Federation of Engineering Organizations, the person of Royal Highness Engineer Otis ING. Sir.
Good evening, everybody.
I'm trying to look at...
Thank you very much, Engineer Otis, and you are very welcome.
Okay.
Thank you, Harold.
His Royal Highness, you are very welcome. And it's good to see you.
Harold. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Harold.
Good evening, Your Royal Highness.
Ovens, go ahead with
that.
We have other regional bodies in FAO. We have NAFIO, North African Federation of Engineering Organizations, headed by its own president, Engineer Hamdi, is not connected yet. And then we have IFIO, East African Federation of Engineering Organizations, SAFIO, Southern African Federation of Engineering Organizations, CAFIO, Central African Federation of Engineering Organizations. They are all well represented here this evening. As soon as they come on, we'll introduce them to make their presence known. I welcome you all, and I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Engineer Ovens. Would now like to invite Engineer Leslie Alex Aye, the President of the Ghana Institution of Engineering, to give us the welcome address. As the host institution, it's right that the President of the institution gives us the opening address. In addition to being the President of the Ghana Institution of Engineering, he is also the incoming President of the West Africa Federation of Engineering Organization, and is also the Chairman for Resource Mobilization for FAIO, Federation of African Engineering Organization. So when he's talking, the cash should be flowing. Engineer Leslie Alex Aye, over to you for your welcome address. Let's put a round of applause for him as he comes.
Past presidents of Federation of African Engineering Organizations, President of the Federation of African Engineering Organizations, President-elect of the Federation of African Engineering Organization, Executive Committee and Council members of the Federation of the African Engineering Organizations, Presidents of sister organizations worldwide, Presidents of engineering organizations in Africa and beyond, Executive Committee members of engineering organizations, Council members of various institutions of engineering, fellow engineers. It is my privilege and pleasure to welcome you all as you partake in this web annual general meeting and the investiture of a fifth president of the Federation of African Engineering Organizations. As you all know, we should have gathered as a family, as has been our tradition, but due to circumstances beyond our control. But we cannot. But let us be strengthened, as the Bible says that the mind of man plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps. I'm confident to say that we appreciate you all for participating in this cyber meeting. As it is said in our local parlance, when sea dry, we go by land. You may be in your home countries, but for us, you are here. Most of you are participating, are here in spirit to lend your support as we navigate our way through the future. Some of our seniors who were with us 2 years ago have gone into eternal rest. May their souls rest in peace. However, FAEO would live long even in the absence of some stalwarts. My dream is for us to support one another in our journey. I hope that this pandemic will spirit away so that in March, when we gather in Kumasi, to laugh, to eat, to drink, and to share ideas, we would indeed be celebrating not a cyber event, but we will be together to hold hands. Once again, on behalf of the Ghana Institute of Engineering and on my own behalf, I welcome you all. God bless you all. And God bless Africa. Thank you.
Let's put our hands together for Engineer Leslie Alex Aye. Next on our program, we have the opening address and a presentation on the Federation on African Engineering Organizations. We want to invite Engineer Martin Manua. He's the outgoing president. We've enjoyed working with him for the last 2 years. His wisdom, every time he speaks, he always has a nice word and direction that he gives on what we are supposed to do. After 2 years, he's handing over. We will miss you, Engineer Martin Manua, but for us in Ghana, we are very happy because it has come to Ghana now. And our president, our former president of GHIE, is taking over. So, Engineer Martin Manua, this is your last but one activity as president of the Federation of African Engineering Organizations. We want to take your remarks now. Engineer Martin Manua, over to you.
Thank you very much, Director of Ceremonies. Thank you, Africa.
a very good evening. As the outgoing president of the Federation of African Engineering Organizations, it is our happiest day when democracy in the engineering sphere speaks, when we hand over the power that the African engineers invested in us to run the council and executive board of the Federation of FAEO. I would like to be guided by the existing protocol. Of course, I acknowledge the host president, Engineer Alex Saib, my executive board and council, all the African Federation of Engineering Organizations, PEOs and PIEs here present. All protocol is observed. My farewell and valedictory will speak about FAO in general, and indeed about how we can build our capacity and our journey in the last 2 years. Let me remind you, as I am so happy to be historically handing over to the first female African president of the Federation of Engineering Organizations, Engineer Kalin. I would like to remind the rest of Africa that engineering is the pillar of all infrastructural development, of all social, economic activities Africa has to enjoy. Engineering makes a crucial contribution to the improvement of the quality of life of all citizens and also to their economic prosperity across the world. As the Federation, we would like to carry the flag feather from where Martin van Villen, the first president, left, handed it over to our brother Mustafa Shehu, who handed over to our brother Julius Leungu, who handed over. I'm very happy that the last General Assembly, this General Assembly, the fifth one, is happening here in Africa, though virtually. The last one happened in the UK, of which we grudgingly held it there for convenience. So this year we have held it in Ghana, where I am supposed to be, but sake of the pandemic, which is ravaging our economies, our people, our countries, we will not be able to meet in person. Again, I would like to encourage engineering to continue to play increasing roles in making sure that we combat the COVID-19 pandemic. More so, this is now the time to create both better water supplies, better services, better energy, a better infrastructure, so that we can beat the pandemic. In Africa and other developing countries, engineering challenges are even more pronounced, often coupled with the largest engineering skills shortages and, of course, many gaps in our development agenda. Again, the post-decade action 2030 to 2030 sees Kalin taking over as the president of FAO, and it is compelled upon her to accelerate the implementation of the SDGs as well as create and maintain the new normal, which entails new business models and new ways of doing business. Again, the path we have walked in the last 2 years entailed that we created the engineering capacity building that is required for Africa. To this end, I'm very grateful to the Africa Union, Department of Human Resources, Science and Technology, which signed an agreement in 2017 under the leadership of Mustafa Shehu for an action and results-oriented action plan for African development. Again, we have signed various memorandum of understanding and partnerships to continue the FAO journey further. Africa through FAO, was united and managed to at least have 4 to 5 executive members of the World Council of the World Federation of Engineering Organizations, WFEO. To this end, a united Africa and the rest of the world voted our own son, Mustafa Braladi Shehu, as the executive vice president of the World Federation. I think we should give him a pam-pam together with the rest of the executive committee members. Thanks to FAO's unity, again, we got in a national member, none other than Engineer Matalanga, the president of IEK Kenya, into power. We also have the Anti-Corruption Committee hosted by Rwanda, the Committee on Women in Engineering hosted by Nigeria, and then we have a working group, infrastructure report card, hosted by the FAO and supported by SAICI and indeed the many African countries. Committee on Engineering Capacity, thank you for the big fight. This is to be hosted by Zimbabwe. Again, the path we've walked by FAO will be shown graphically by a video that will be shown at the end of my presentation. But just in short, we have been successfully holding the African Week, Africa Engineering Week, which is now a brand. The 2020 edition was delayed, and tidbits of that African Engineering Week were done this week, which we have dubbed the Africa Engineering Week, with a theme on electrification and energy in general for the Africa we want, which is the attainment of Agenda 2063. Again, Nigeria premiered the first Africa Engineering Conference, which is in its 5th edition. Again, this did not take place last year due to the pandemic. We will make sure that the 6th edition takes place without fail. Again, we facilitated a lot of funding of opportunities for our PEIs, including partnerships with the Department of Department of Science and Innovation South Africa and the Royal Academy of Engineering, who are going funding some of the projects in Africa. Again, we are taking part in the UNESCO Engineering Report number 2, which will be launched on the 4th of March, which is the which is the World Engineering Day for Sustainable Development. Africa must take part actively. We have contributed a chapter with authors, Yashin Brigmohan and myself, having done the chapter for Africa. Again, Africa's capacity building, put in context, is such that by 2024, we are appealing to the new FAO executives that at least 50% of infrastructure development should be done by citizens of Africa using their own local content and beneficiated raw materials. At the moment, we have a scenario where a lot of foreign companies, especially those from Asia, East Asia, China, especially Europe, are doing a lion's share of our projects with our engineers as spectators. I think a win-win partnerships where we share this work, exchange technology, transfer skills is what we call for as the Federation. We will obviously urge the new executive to take this to the African Union. The new normal expect the next 100 years to belong to Africa because it is Africa that is the population dividend with the youngest population, which is Africa that has the greatest potential with 70% of its infrastructure undone. We are indeed inspired by the very words of the late President Kwame Nkrumah in his first stage speech at the Foundation Summit of the Organization of African Unity in Addis on 24 May 1963, where he literally says that we must mechanize Africa. We must build communication channels. We must build hydroelectric power. We must clear all swamps and marshes. we must ensure that engineering, science, and technology will make the Sahara green. Paraphrased, this is our inspiration as the FAO, and as engineers, our role is to work with the African Union, our governments, and indeed our partners in Africa and abroad to develop Africa. Of course, we have challenges. Lack of teachers at primary, elementary school, higher education, which is under-resourced, sometimes too many entering, maybe the quality. Then we also have limited graduate training, and then professional registration, and then lack of investment, and then public capacity is public sector technical capacity is reduced over the years and through brain drain and many other issues. And then we actually are appealing to Kalian's executive to tackle some of these problems head on, ensure that we create the Africa that we want. Of course, low numbers of graduates is challenging. The last report in 2010 reported that we had 1 to 200. We have 1 to 6,000 engineers, 1 engineer to 6,000 persons versus countries with 1 to less than 200 like Germany, the UK, and some with 1 to 800 in the developed world. Again, we would like to ensure that we build a regulatory institutional capacity as well as recognition of qualifications and mobility. What has happened? The international markets is taken already, entered our space. Renewable energy, like you saw in today's symposium, needs space. And we need to address the AU Agenda 26.3 and look at how we can make Africa engineers globally by being technically broad, commercially savvy, and then mobile and globally. We really need to ensure that we adopt the Industry 4.0 revolution, where we are in the 4th industrial revolution, with all the technologies available to make engineering leapfrogging in Africa, with IoT, big data analytics, 3D printing, smart sensors, and multi-level customer interaction and augmented reality and wearables that we can use. Again, going green and ensuring that our engineers are sustainable is what we're looking for. We must train for the new jobs and ensure that all the 17 goals have a space in FAO's agenda. In conclusion, I recommend to the new board that we really need to ensure that quality in engineering is taken into account. And to this effect, our agreement, which we are finalizing with the Africa Asia Pacific, which will make all African engineering institutions compliant to the IEA, International Engineering Alliance, should be pursued. Again, we should commit further to capacity building to ensure that we have more quality female engineers, more technologists, technicians, and indeed more numbers in the whole of STEM subjects. Again, we need to ensure that we are SDGs compliant, and FAO should make sure that we are compliant to the SDGs, especially Goal 5 and its target. I really would like to thank you. I'm humbled by the support that I received from all of the PEO presidents, our host NSE, indeed my sponsor institution, which is the Engineering Council of Zimbabwe and the Zimbabwe Institution of Engineers. And through this, I got tremendous support from the presidents, Godfrey Monde, from the chairman of council, Engineer Rodzi, and tremendous support from the CEOs, Dr. Rafe Moyo, Dr. Deara, and the rest of Team Zimbabwe. I thank you for all the support. In Africa, I thank you. I thank my secretariat, the hardworking Ovens and his team, Rose, whose contract expired, and indeed Rotimi, the ever available technocrat we have at the Secretariat. I also thank my former past presidents, Martin, Mustafa, Julius, for 100% support. And I pledge the same support to Kalian. I thank you, and I end here by letting the organizers play the videos, which gives you a sneak peek of what we did in the last 2 years, which I think you are aware of. Thank you and congratulations, my sister Colleen. I wish you all the best. Thank you, Africa. Goodbye, and thank you for all the support.
Thank you very much, Engineer Martin Manua. I think he deserves another big round of applause. This has indeed been a very eventful 2 years, and FAIO has come far. In the next 2 years, FAIO will be going higher and higher. Next on our program, we want to take some goodwill messages. First, from the World Federation of Engineering Organizations president in the person of Professor Engineer Gonki. The next one will be from the Africa Union Scientific, Technical and Research Commission Executive Secretary in the person of Dr. Ahmed Hamdi. And the third one will be from the Women in Engineering, their president, Engineer Yetunde Holloway. In fact, if you were with us last night at the award ceremony, we saw many of them receiving awards last night, and they have some goodwill messages for us. Let's put our hands together as we listen to their goodwill messages.
President of FAIO, Martin Manuva and Karlin Buchet. This is a historic moment for FAIO today. I would like to offer my heartiest congratulations to the new president, Karlin Buchet, the proud daughter of Ghana, for your great achievements as the fourth and the first female president of the Federation of African Engineering Organizations. I wish you great success in this important position. WFU has shared a close and long-standing relationship with FAIO, which is a proactive international member of the Federation and played a very important role in the Federation. We are committed to building on this partnership in the year ahead with your new leadership. We believe that the strong cooperation and alliance between our two organizations will continue to contribute to 2030 United Nations Sustainable Development Agenda in the future in areas of our shared priorities, such as tackling global challenges through engineering practice and innovations, making a difference in the time of the fourth industrial revolution with a better engineering education and capacity building, and building back better from the coronavirus pandemic. I would also like to offer my heartiest appreciation to President Martin Manuva for your service at FAIO and WFEO and the great contributions you have made to promoting collaborations between these two organizations for the past many years. We have fought side by side in many tasks, and I look forward to keeping working closely with you on engineering capacity building and many other common interests and challenges at WFU. I received the honor Distinguished Friend of Africa Award with deep gratitude and great humility. I do understand that this award is not only to honor myself, but also to WFU family. This is an award that speaks to our heart. All of us are friends of Africa, supporters to Africa. WFU has sought to build stronger ties with FAIO based on shared values, mutual respect, common interest, and we shall reiterate the commitments of WFEO for further emphasizing on the engineering development in Africa together with FAIO. WFU will provide continuous support to FAIO, and the international engineering community must also complement the efforts with stronger support in quality engineering education, health care, food security, basic social facilities, and infrastructure, especially broadband information network, etc. We will continue with the promotion of capacity building for engineering and encouraging young boys and girls to select engineering as a career choice, as we did with the Africa Catalyst project and UNESCO African Engineering Week, to build capacity in engineering communities across Africa. To draw attention to the current diverse challenges that impede sustainable development and sustainable engineering development in Africa. We sincerely look forward to working closer. Together with the continuous support from FIO on these important collaborations. Thank you.
Engineer Caroline Bushdit, congratulations. This is a special day for the Federation of African Engineering Organization. It is also a special day for African women, since you are the first ever female engineer that to be elected for such prestigious position. I'm also so proud to be participating and witnessing this moment. And I would like to assure you that the African Union Scientific and Technical Research Commission will avail all the support needed to ensure that our partnership is successful and we achieve the goals, and to ensure also that you have achieved the goals you set up for yourself during your time in the office. Looking forward to work with you for the benefits of the engineering community and Africa at large. Thank you very much indeed. Wish you the best of luck.
Dear Madam President, my name is Engineer Yetunde Holloway. I am a Vice President of FAU and the Chair of the Women in Engineering Committee. On behalf of the members of the committee, as well as female engineers in Africa and worldwide, I congratulate you on this occasion. You are a source of pride to us all, and we are so excited to be part of the journey with you. We are extremely proud of you, and on behalf of the female engineers, I pledge that we will walk with you to ensure your success as you embark on this journey. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Gonki, Dr. Ahmed, and Engineer Yetunde Holloway. We could not have done this program if we did not have any support from anybody. So we just want to acknowledge 3 of our sponsors at this time. Arab contractors based in Egypt supported us to make this a success. Then we have Electricity Company of Ghana. Madam happens to be on the board of ECG, so definitely they had to come to our support. We want to thank Electricity Company of Ghana for their support to make this a success. And we also want to thank ADK Consortium for their support. We have other sponsors, including VRA, Talo, GMPC, Bui Power, GPHA, and Ghana Gas. Thank you all very much for your support. Next on our program, we have the citation for the incoming president of the Federation of African Engineering Organizations. This is going to be done in 2 parts. First, we'll have a video, then we'll have the citation, which will be read by the Executive Director of the Ghana Institution of Engineering, who also doubles as the Executive Secretary of the West Africa Federation of Engineering Organization, in the person of Engineer Kwabna Ejepon. We'll take the video first, then he will come and then give us the written citation. Let's put our hands together as we watch the citation of the incoming president of the Federation of Engineering Organizations.
Currently the president of African Engineering Organizations, began her primary education at the Rich Church School in Accra, Ghana's capital, and incidentally her hometown. It was a Christian school that placed importance on moral uprightness. She had no difficulty with any subject, Perhaps because both her parents were well educated and her mother, who was trained as a teacher, made sure she and her siblings had the kind of educational resources that made things easier for them. She loved to read and they had a well-stocked library at home. She also frequented the children's library. When it came to mathematics, she had tools like Cousinet rods so that concepts that may otherwise have seemed abstract and difficult to grasp had physical meaning for her. It was at Rich Church School that she began to develop a global outlook on life. Although most students in the school were from Ghana, she also had classmates from the Netherlands, Yugoslavia, England, and India, so she learned to be comfortable with other cultures. She also had her first taste of leadership when she was made assistant head girl in her final year. Engineer Carlin subsequently attended Wesley Girls High School, which was also her mother's alma mater for her O-levels. She, however, enrolled at the newly created sixth form Science College, part of the Presbyterian Boys Secondary School, where she happened to be the only female out of a class of almost 100 boys. She further gained admission into the University of in Guildford, UK, to study civil engineering in 1980. In Surrey, her civil engineering class was made up of about 200 students, but there were only 3 females. The other 2 were from Malaysia and Singapore. Again, she rarely interacted with the boys in class. Engineer Carlin's involvement with the Ghana Institution of Engineering came early in her career. Her father was a past president of the institution, and she therefore understood its importance and participated in GHIE events. She took the professional examination at a time when other colleagues did not see its importance. She found herself defending her work against a panel that included a senior engineer from the AESC. She was successful in the examination and became the first Ghanaian female to become a full member of Ghana Institution of Engineering. She was later persuaded to join the Ghana Institution of Engineering Secretariat as Director of Education and Training. Engineer Carlin heard about a new master's degree course in earthquake engineering from a lecturer of Imperial College in London and got fascinated that such a course existed, and she instinctively knew that was what she wanted to do. They were a small class from different countries. She was much older than everyone else, but they were very friendly and they all got on quite well. On her return to Ghana, she worked as an independent consulting engineer, but was soon persuaded to return to the GHIE Secretariat, this time as acting executive secretary. She adopted an open door policy at the GHIE to create opportunities for younger engineers, technicians, and technologists. She began the formal registration of students and encouraged their participation in GHIE events. She supported women in engineering groups in the institutions and instituted a program that sought sponsorship for 1 female each year to attend a leadership program in France. She communicated regularly with members and their organizations and ensured that she responded promptly to all correspondence. She also organized evening lectures, seminars, and conferences, which were all well publicized by the press. These measures helped increase the visibility of the institution and led to an increase in membership. One of her key achievements at the Ghana Institution of Engineering was to obtain funding for a project advocating the passage of an engineering council bill. The funding enabled the Ghana Institution of Engineering to engage members and the public nationwide. The bill was passed into law soon after she left office. She maintained her involvement with the Ghana Institution of Engineering and served on its council. She later ran for president and succeeded in becoming the first female to occupy that position. The length of time she had spent working in the Ghana Institution of Engineering Secretariat meant that many members already knew her. She was very touched by the support she received, especially from colleagues who were female engineering practitioners. Her 1-year term as president was indeed very eventful. She hosted many events, conferences, and meetings. They made important declarations on national issues like the illegal small-scale mining being undertaken by foreigners, which was destroying water bodies and causing damage to the environment. She was satisfied to note that their recommendations for a ban and re-education of locals on safe mining practices conferences was taken seriously. She continued her participation in international conferences, meetings, and was able to boost their influence by increasing the number of delegates from Ghana participating in these meetings and conferences. And so, when the position of president of the Federation of African Engineering Organization came up for consideration, she was nominated and mostly supported for the position by all other countries present. She hence became the first female to have the honor of being appointed to serve as president of the Federation of African Engineering Organization, a position that will also see her serving on the Executive Council of the World Federation of Engineering Organization. In spite of her focus on her professional career and academic life, Engineer Kalian Dorcas Bushidi is a great mother and a true grandmother. She loves life and makes time to explore the fun part of it.
Well, it gives me great pleasure to be here today to read on behalf of the Federation of African Engineering Organizations a short citation in honor of a lady who's made a big impact on all of us. She's the one who bestowed on me my fellowship of this institution that we are proud of. Engineer Kalian Bushidi, you are a consulting civil structural engineer with specialist knowledge in earthquake engineering. You've had 35 years of experience in building design, supervision of construction, construction management, project management, structural condition assessments, and many others. Your glittering career has seen you become recipient of many awards. You were the Earthquake Engineering Research Institute Hausner Fellow in 2012, thus becoming a member of a first class of program leaders in seismic risk management. You also received from the Ghana Ministry of Women's and Children Affairs a Woman of Excellence Award in 2011. Your paper, Structural Failures Within the City of Accra, presented at an international conference on structural engineering analysis and modeling, also received a major award. You have served on many boards and councils, including that of the Volta River Authority, the Cape Coast Technical University, the Road Fund, the Minister of Works and Housing, and currently Electricity Company of Ghana, and in fact, the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, College of Science and Technology. In 2019, you chaired a government-appointed committee of experts that advised on refocusing Ghana's earthquake preparedness and response, and you were recently elected as a member of the Board of Direction of the US-based Earthquake Engineering Research Institute. Today, all of us engineers in Africa, we celebrate your investiture as the president of FIO, the peak body of our profession. I'm humbled and privileged to invite a Justice of the Court of Appeal, Justice Anthony Opong, to take you through the oath of office. Let's all receive Justice Opong as Madam takes her oath of office.
So you repeat after me. So we go. I will mention your full name.
I, Kalian Dorcas Bushidi,
Having been elected
to
the high office
of
President of the Federation of African Engineering Organizations,
President of the Federation of African Engineering Organizations,
do hereby solemnly affirm that I shall at all times and to the best of my abilities uphold the honor and dignity
of the
office of the President
of
the Federation of African Engineering Organizations,
faithfully and conscientiously faithfully and conscientiously
discharge my duties,
discharge my duties,
work diligently
work diligently
and faithfully
and faithfully
for the advancement of the Federation of African Engineering Organizations
for the advancement of the Federation of African Engineering Organizations
and its members.
Be
fair and impartial
Be fair and impartial
in my dealings with members. Protect the interests
of
the Federation.
Being guided by the need
to use engineering
as
an enabler
to
aid Africa's development. Uphold the Constitution of the Federation of African Engineering Organizations. So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
So we'll now present the signing to be done by the Justice of the Court of Appeal and the... Immediately after this, we'll be handing over to Engineer Martin Manua to do the official handing over ceremony. This is a great and wonderful occasion. As Engineer Kwabena Ejapong stated, it was when she was president of the Ghana Institution of Engineering, that is when he became a fellow. For me, it is double. When I was becoming a corporate member, she was the executive secretary, so she signed my certificate. And when I was becoming a fellow of the institution, she was the president, so again, she signed my certificate. So I'm proud and humbled as we observe Engineer Kalien Bushidid taking over as the president of the Federation of African Engineering Organizations. Let us give her another round of applause. Thank you very much, Engineer Martin Manua. Right now, I don't know, Engineer Martin Manua, right now we are not sure whether you are still the president or since she's taking the oath, you are gone. So maybe this is the last thing that you are going to do. Please, we would invite you to go through the handing over ceremony. Engineer Martin Manua, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations to President Kalien. And I'm here in Harare holding your chain of office and your medallion symbolically is handed over to you and your new board and new council. And we have another one that you can put on symbolically. I am taking off the one that I have, and you put on the new mantle of office. I congratulate you and the rest of the new council, which you are going to introduce. Well done into your new term. And from this second on, I am the immediate past president of FAEO. Thank you all. Congratulations, my sister.
Thank you very much, immediate past president of the Federation of African Engineering Organizations, Engineer Martin Manua. Let's give him a round of applause. It has been 2 years of hard work, and now we are moving on to Engineer Mrs. Kalien Bushidid. We would now invite her to come on stage to introduce the new Executive Council. Engineer Kalien. Oh, let's put our hands together for our president. Wherever you are in the world, put your hands together as we welcome the fifth president of the Federation of African Engineering Organizations as she undertakes her first task as our president. A round of applause, a round of applause, a round of applause.
Thank you very much. Let me thank you all for your very kind words and welcoming me. It's my duty now to introduce the members of my Executive Council, but I shall take the prerogative of a president and ask my Executive Director to name them. Thank you.
Engineer Ovens. Engineer Ovens.
Okay. Harold, can you see me?
Engineer Ovens, we can hear you.
Is the screen showing?
We can hear you.
Okay.
The screen will be showing shortly. Please go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much, Madam President Kalian Bochedid. Thank you very much. Welcome on board, the brand new president of FAO. We are excited, we are delighted to have you on board. And so I start by quickly introducing the members of the new team. Engineer Mrs. Kalian Bochedid, president from Ghana. Engineer Papayas Kawazadi from Rwanda is the president-elect. Engineer Martin Manua, the immediate past president from Zimbabwe. Engineer Sami Mohammed from Egypt is the treasurer. Engineer Fius Kazadi Nkashamba from Democratic Republic of Congo is the president of Central African Federation of Engineering Organizations, as well as the vice president of FAO. And then we have Engineer Collins G. Juma from Kenya. He's the president of East African Federation of Engineering Organizations and vice president of FAO. And then we have Engineer George Sitali from Zambia, who is also a president of South African Federation of Engineering Organizations. And then he doubles away from Egypt. Ani Dahi is the president of Northern African Federation of Engineering Organizations. He is the vice president of FAO. We then have His Royal Highness Engineer Otis Anyinji from Nigeria. He is the president of West African Federation of Engineering Organizations. He is the vice president of FAO. And then we have a past president of FAO, Dr. Martin Van Velen from South Africa. He's the chair, Infrastructure Working Group. And Engineer Deolu Odusete, the former treasurer from Nigeria. He's the chair, Governance Standing Technical Committee. Engineer Dr. Ben Rafimoyo from Zimbabwe is the acting chair, Capacity Building Standing Technical Committee. Engineer Dr. Yashin Braimohan from South Africa is the chair, Engineering Education Standing Technical Committee. And we also have Engineer Yetunde Holloway from Nigeria, who is the chair in Women in Engineering Standing Technical Committee for FAO. We also have Engineer Michael Camille from Kenya, who is the chair, Young Engineers Standing Technical Committee. And my humble self, I'm Engineer Ovins Ehimatie from Nigeria. I'm the executive director. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Engineer Ovins, our executive director and chief executive of FAO. We now want to invite the president of the Federation of African Engineering Organization to present a special award. And before she comes, there are a number of people who worked to make this a success. We are the chairman of the planning committee in the person of Engineer Dr. Kwame Boache, and then Engineer Ovins, and a number of other people, local organizing committee. We had Engineer Mavis Alote, who worked to make this a success. Now, we planned this program, and there's a special award, and we don't know what it is. President, over to you.
Thank you very much. Now, let me put you out of your suspense. This special award goes to my now immediate past president, Engineer Martin Manua, for distinguished service to the Federation of African Engineering Organizations. Engineer Manua has been associated with the Federation from its inception. And in fact, we met together before FAO was even birthed. We both started writing a constitution for FAO, but he beat me to it. So it was his constitution that was used. Since he became president, he has worked so hard, and it's evidenced by the number of activities that you saw displayed on the screen. He has been all over the world, and he has developed partnerships in Europe, in Asia and Pacific, with the Arab engineers, and with several other organizations. And I do believe that he deserves the recognition of FAO for this distinguished service. I particularly appreciate the efforts he made to bring in all the 5 regions of FAIO to give us a united Africa. He's always been a staunch supporter of women, and he has attended the Women in Engineering programs quietly in the background. I know that he gives us a lot of support because he's got daughters who are also engineers at home. He's also cultivated several friendships all over the world, and I know that I can count on the friendships that he's cultivated because they have already started contacting me and offering their help. And so for this distinguished service, Engineer Manua, FAIO would like to recognize you and give you this special award. Thank you. This is symbolic at the moment.
Thank you very much, President of FAIO. Engineer Martin Manua, your distinguished service has been recognized. And like our president said, this is symbolic. The real thing is over here. We will ship it over to you very soon. I mean, though there is, we have the pandemic, as for sending that one, we'll be able to send it. So I don't know if Engineer Martin Manua, you have a word or two for us at this point.
I think, to me, this is my best recognition, and I will continue to support engineering in Africa. Thank you, thank you. This award is not for me alone, but for all the teams that have supported me in the background. Engineer Mustafa Shehu and many other teams, they know what we have done all over. Sometimes we had to go everywhere using our funds, helping each other, Mustafa and ourselves, to ensure that Africa is never, never, ever underrepresented. I thank you, Mustafa. I thank you, FAO. I thank you, Africa. Thank you to you all. I also thank the Engineering Council and the people of Zimbabwe, the ZIE, and all those people who supported me. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Engineer Martin Manua. At this time, we are going to listen to the first presidential address of the President of the Federation of African Engineering Organizations. I enjoy introducing her. She was the first corporate member of the Ghana Institution of, first female corporate member of the Ghana Institution of Engineering. She was the first and only female executive secretary of the Ghana Institution of Engineering. She's the first and only vice president who is a woman of the Ghana Institution of Engineering. And as we are reminded by HRH Otis Anieje, she was the last president of the Ghana Institution of Engineers and the first president of the Ghana Institution of Engineering and the first and only female president of the Ghana Institution of Engineering. And now she is the 5th president and the first female president of the Federation of African Engineering Organizations. Let us put our hands together and give her a round of applause as she delivers her first address.
Thank you very much for those kind words. I'd like to stand on existing protocols, but let me just recognize my immediate past president, Engineer Martin Manua, the executive vice president of the World Federation of Engineers, Engineer M.B. Shehu, past presidents of FAIO, executive board members and council members, and the regional heads, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate the honor that has been done to me, to Ghanaian engineering, to women in Africa, and to women around the world by placing me in this position. I am especially fortunate to have been surrounded throughout my life by many distinguished engineers who, by their example, prepared the grounds for me to occupy this lofty position. And here, let me salute the 50 engineers that held the position of President of Ghana Institution of Engineers beside myself. I knew practically all of them and worked closely with many of them. And this included my late father, Engineer E.Y.S. Engman. I would like to recognize also my predecessor presidents in FAIO, who through their dedication, hard work, and actions have within a short space of time brought FAIO to its current position of recognition. From its inception in 2012, Martin van Wielen of South Africa helped to nurture a fledgling organization which had very few resources. Engineer Mustafa Shehu of Nigeria pursued international recognition for the organization and succeeded in developing a partnership with the AU, as outlined in an MOU that we signed with the AU. Under President Julius Riungu of Kenya, fundraising efforts paid off, and FAIO began strengthening its secretariat and governance structures. Finally, Engineer Martin Manua, the gentleman I have just honored, and who has just handed over to me the running of FAIO, aside from continuing the work that his predecessors had begun, strategically developed partnerships with many international organizations, all designed to help FAIO achieve its objectives. In addition, he ensured that all 5 regions of FAIO became active and are now united by the common aim of helping to engineer Africa's development. Visions of a better future for Africa include many areas that require the active involvement of engineering or practitioners. The Sustainable Development Goals, for example, includes goals such as clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation and infrastructure, sustainable cities and communities, and so on. These are some of the obvious areas that need engineers. But a closer look at some of the other goals will show you that engineering inputs are also required to achieve them. For example, Goal 3, good health and well-being, and Goal 4, quality education, will require infrastructure and equipment that are the purview of engineering practitioners. The African Union's blueprint for transforming Africa into a global powerhouse for the future, Agenda 2063, the Africa we want, which takes a longer-term view of Africa's development, is no different. The desire for shared prosperity and well-being, for unity and integration, for example, points to the need to ensure adequate infrastructure for water supply, sufficient and reliable energy to power homes and industries, and good transportation and communication links within and between countries in Africa. Indeed, when it comes to communications, the novel coronavirus has thrust us, many of us totally unprepared, into the future, and we have no choice now but to play catch-up with the development of our infrastructure, especially our broadband infrastructure, that we need for communicating to school children, business colleagues, and so on, while staying physically distant. A digital transformation project began by Engineer Martin Manua, my predecessor, will be pursued in this regard. One development worthy of note that is of significance to FAIO is the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, AfTA, which came into effect on 1st January 2021. AfTA is one of the flagship projects that have been identified by the African Union as being key to accelerating Africa's economic growth and development. the harmonization of standards in goods and services will be a critical requirement in the implementation of AFTA, and FAIO is uniquely positioned to deliver on this in the engineering sector. Indeed, the success of ACTA will be dependent on the success of FAIO. At FAIO, we are convinced that Africa cannot develop without engineering, and we have positioned ourselves to be the organization that drives the sustainable socioeconomic development of Africa through engineering. To this end, we shall be working to promote and advance the science and practice of engineering for the benefit of society in Africa and beyond. More specifically, during this period of my presidency of FAIO, FAIO will be engaged in activities in 4 main areas. First, the Executive Council will be working to ensure that FAIO becomes an efficient and effective organization that is a repository of knowledge on engineering in Africa and most representative of the profession and industry. FAIO's membership includes professional engineering institutions from the African continent in every region, and FAIO shall be engaged in helping to build their capacity. Since 2019, FAIO has also opened its doors to all engineering institutions operating in Africa, and I would like to use this occasion to invite engineering organizations in energy, water, transportation, telecommunication, building, mining, and all other relevant industries to join FAIO and participate in the process of harmonizing standards across Africa. Secondly, FAIO shall be working to develop a sufficient, diverse, inclusive, and competent base of relevant engineering workforce and industries for Africa that engage in safe, ethical, and sustainable practice. FAIO believes that Africa must build its own indigenous engineering capacity. Large numbers of engineering practitioners will be needed in diverse fields to achieve the African Union's vision for Africa, Agenda 2063, and the UN's Sustainable Development Goals. Diversity in the engineering workforce will also be promoted by FAIO. We recognize the lack of participation of females in particular and other disadvantaged populations in the engineering workforce in Africa. And the Women in Engineering Committee of FAIO will be leading the effort to turn things around. I hope that my election as the first female president of FAIO will help in this regard and serve as inspiration for many young females in Africa and indeed around the world. To facilitate the mobility of the engineering workforce across national borders in Africa for effective deployment of available skills, FAIO will work with partner organizations like the Engineering Alliance and the Federation of Engineering Institutions of Asia and the Pacific, and other professional engineering bodies around the world to ensure that we establish unified standards across the continent for engineering education and professional engineering practice and registration, as well as for the accreditation of programs, and also ensure the accreditation of programs to internationally acceptable standards. Furthermore, FAIO will promote the development of the capacity of the African engineer to be globally competitive. FAIO will also promote ethical leadership and professional conduct, and the Anti-Corruption Committee of FAIO, hosted by Rwanda, will be leading the way. We expect them to come up with frameworks and ways in which individual engineering practitioners and companies can ensure that they are behaving ethically. Thirdly, FIRE will be working to create awareness amongst leaders, policymakers, and society at large of the critical importance of engineering to the socio-economic development of Africa. To this end, FIRE will take advantage of its relationship with the African Union to proactively engage governments in Africa and key stakeholders to guide public policy at national, regional, and international levels on matters related to engineering. FIRE will also encourage its professional engineering institutions to engage their political leaders, civil service, religious leaders, civil society, and other professional bodies on the need for focus on engineering, together with science, technology, and innovation. In addition, professional engineering institutions of FIRE will be asked to promote engineering and STEM, that's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, amongst young persons, females, and disadvantaged populations. Finally, FIRE will promote the advancement of knowledge in critical areas required for development in Africa and shall disseminate such knowledge to member organizations and relevant bodies like national governments and the African Union. This will be achieved through activities such as the promotion of research, publication of journals and technical papers, and hosting of conferences, seminars, and symposia, such as those held yesterday and today, one on effective project management and the other on sustainable power for industrialization of the African continent, which generated very useful discussions. We shall also use awards, such as those given to university dons during our awards night held yesterday, which celebrated their contributions in developing solutions to the COVID pandemic. The novel coronavirus has taught us that no nation, organization, however powerful they are, can exist effectively in isolation. We need one another to make our society a safer and better place to live in. In FIRE, there's an African proverb that we often repeat that I find very apt. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So let's go far together and engineer the Africa we want. There's work to do, and I urge all member institutions to pay their dues, both to FIRE and to the World Federation of Engineering Organizations, so that Africa can take its rightful place on the world stage. I am confident that with the combined efforts and commitment of the FIRE Executive Council, the membership, the Secretariat, and our many friends and partners around the world, including the African Union, the World Federation of Engineering Organizations, the Federation of Engineering Institutions of Asia and Pacific, and with the help of the Almighty God, FIRE will be able to achieve what it has set out to do and more. Before I conclude my address, I would like to express my appreciation to all those who have made this event possible, and to all of you for gracing this occasion with your presence. I would like to make particular mention of my immediate past president of FIRE, Engineer Martin Manua, the host president for this event, Engineer Alex Ayo of Ghana, the chairman of the planning committee, Engineer Dr. Boachi, and his team that helped to organize this event, and to the hard-working secretariat headed by the FIRE Executive Director, Engineer Ovens, and his team. Finally, let me give special thanks to the Women in Engineering group in Ghana, that is WINE, and the Women in Engineering group in Africa, who have been such reliable support. This presidency is dedicated to female engineers all over the world. But I'll not be forgiven if I do not mention my family. And although the older members of the family will forgive me if I do not mention their names, my grandchildren will not. So let me mention Zuriel and Zeda, my grandchildren. I thank you all for your attention. Thank you.
Oh, let's put our hands together for Madam President. Madam, please, you are not going away yet. Okay. When she was concluding, in fact, her vision is clear. And I like one of the things that she said. She got to the dues, and then she mentioned the dues. You know, if you work with her, you know that what has to be done, she ensures that it is done. So, Madam, we'll be with you, we will support you, and everything you want done, we will make sure it is done.
Thank you.
She concluded by saying that women in engineering in Ghana and women in engineering Africa. And without the women in engineering, I don't know where we will be now. So they are here to make a special presentations. There is a citation, and then there's another presentation which will come to you from Engineer Yetunde Holloway and Engineer Enyonang Pepena, who is the president of the Women in Engineering Ghana. So please, the stage, over to you. I don't want to be assassinated, so I've left the stage over to you. Please. Madam, please move into the middle. Enyonang, move.
On behalf of the Women in Engineering Committee of FAYO, and on behalf of Women in Engineering Ghana, we present to you this citation. We are extremely proud and that you have actually broken the glass ceiling, and you are now the first female president of FAYO and the 5th president of FAYO. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
A round of applause, a round of applause, a round of applause.
I'm not reading here. Thank you.
On behalf of we FAYO as well, we present to you this bouquet of flowers as a symbol of congratulations for your work and for the office of the president. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Engineer Enyonang Pepena. In fact, my children were having a discussion, and one of them said, when I mentioned the various achievements, and then I said, oh, she has shattered the glass ceiling like you said. They said, no, this one, it is the diamond ceiling. It is not just glass. Glass is very easy to break. It is diamond. And how many women will be able to achieve all these things? So the diamond ceiling has been shattered. Women in Ghana, women in Africa, women all over the world, whatever target you set for yourself, should I say we? I think I'm part of Women in Engineering. So I'll say we will be able to shatter any ceiling that is put before us, and we'll go ahead and achieve more than what our president, Engineer Kalian Dorcas Bushidid, has achieved. Let us give her another great round of applause. When this program was starting, she told us that she doesn't like things to go anyhow. This is the time we should ensure we keep to time. She doesn't want anybody to be talking when the person is not supposed to be talking. So I don't know if I have erred at this juncture. So I'd like to pause over here and invite our president-elect in the person of Engineer Papayas Kazawadi from Rwanda to give us the vote of thanks. Let us welcome Engineer Papayas Kazawadi.
كان السبب انه يتعرف الياس على لينا مريض لها زوجته بحكم الاراضي.
Engineer Papayas Kazawadi, please, can you hear us? On behalf of the Federation of African Engineering Organizations, we'd like to say a big thank you to everyone who has helped make this program a success. Madam President has already done the thanks. She went through the list of all the people who have done the various things to make this a big success. I'll just run through them again. Engineer Martin Manua, thank you so very much for your support, the hard work, and everything which has been done. We want to thank Engineer Dr. Kwame Boache, who was the chairman of the organizing committee, making sure that everything that needed to be done has happened. And yesterday's symposium and today's symposium, the contributions, all the various people who had things to, presentations to make, we want to say a big thank you to each and every one of you for being a part of this. And Engineer Ovens Ahemeti, Executive Director, CEO of FAIO. The next 2 years, the work is going to be huge because Madam has outlined what is going to be done. We'll all be there to support you and to support Madam. The way you've organized to make this a success, we say a big thank you, and we are going to support you and Madam to take, Madam President, to take FAIO to a higher level than ever before. For all of you out there who have been a part of this ceremony, we say a very big thank you, especially our appeal court justice who came and swore in our president. Right now, we have a very huge case in Ghana, and he has left that one and come over here to come and support us. We say a very big thank you to you for coming to support us for this momentous, great occasion. In fact, when you are writing your CV, I'm sure you can include it that you were the one who swore in the first female president of the Federation of African Engineering Organizations. For all of you who have joined us from all around the world, in fact, we are so impressed with the number of people we have online, even to this moment. And we've been through this. We've had a very wonderful time. We had planned, in fact, the women in engineering had planned a grand occasion, and we were going to a particular venue. And at this time, we would have been breaking to eat and to party, to celebrate. But because of COVID-19, we will still have it, Madam President. That occasion, we are going to have it. The plans have been made, and they have not been shelved. Everybody everywhere will invite you to Ghana when the pandemic goes down. We'll have a grand ceremony, a grand conference, and then we'll add the celebrations to it. Thank you all for being a part of this. And for the next 2 years, we are looking up to you to support us. We say the world is going nowhere without engineering. Without engineering, nothing is going to happen. Let us all support and make the world a better. Okay, so now we have Papayas, who is ready to join us now. I have done the first part. He'll do the second part, and then we'll call it a day. Engineer Papayas Kazawadi, President-elect of the Federation of Engineering Organizations from Rwanda. Please, we want to hear your vote of thanks.
Thank you, the moderator, distinguished guests, Madam President, immediate past President, Executive Vice President, World Federation of Engineering Organizations, heads of regional FAO branches, professional engineering institutional presidents, distinguished guest participants, and engineers here present. Looking at how the event has been conducted, I am short of words except one of thanking everyone. Those who made this event and this happen as it has happened. To the President, I believe in the spirit of the African approach. All engineers and friends of engineers are going to support you to deliver the 4-point program that you have presented. And as the President-elect, I'm very privileged and humbled to be working with you, and I promise my support. I cannot say this without thanking the Secretariat, the organizers which is the Institution of Engineers Ghana, the sponsors, and everyone who has made this event happen. I thank you all, and God bless you.
Thank you all very much for joining us to make this grand ceremony a big success. And we have something we say in Ghana. I don't know if it happens elsewhere, but in Ghana we say, when you wake up the next morning and you hear the cock crowing, in fact, because of technology, now the chickens are in the rural areas. Even in the rural areas, you don't hear them. But in the morning, when you wake up and hear the cars zooming past and blowing their horns, this is Engineer Kalian Dorcas Bushidid, President of FAYU, telling you, thank you very much for the support, and thank you very much in advance for the support that you will get in the next 2 years. Thank you all, and God bless you all.